Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. The Christmas season is firmly upon us, and it's that time of year, isn't it, to look back and or maybe it's the time of year to get drunk and eat lots of food. I don't know, but it's also the time of year to reflect on the year and how it has gone. And I want to do that today for 2025 in Raid Shadow Legends. In fact, I'm going to stick up a poll. We'll come back to it at the end of the video, and we'll see what the first responders. You got to be on the ball if you're viewing the channel, right? You know, sometimes, almost never, but sometimes, yeah, if you respond to a poll quickly, you can get in there. You could be in a video. So we'll see what the first responders think about how good was Raid in 2025, or how good was 2025 for Raid Shadow Legends. An S tier year, an A tier, B tier, or C tier. That's usually, I only have 4 options on YouTube for polls, but I think it works pretty well. Fun fact, I think there maybe were more options before, but I remember they would recommend 4 options gets the most engagement for whatever reason. 3 options is too few, 5 options is too many. 4 options, people are like, oh, I have opinions now about this. There's enough stuff for my opinion to feel valuable, but not so many options that I'm overwhelmed. But yeah, how was 2025? We'll see what the initial responders think, and you can let me know what you think, of course, in the comments as well. My thoughts overall, and we're going to review specific stuff. In fact, let me bring up the video. Hang on a sec. In fact, here it is. It's right here in game. Raid video in review. Let's click play and go. Whoa, hello. But yes, this is what I love the background. That's a good laugh. Oh my gosh. But funny enough, at a quick glance, I never really noticed this before. At a quick glance, MTG Jedi and Cruisin could be brothers. Look at that. They're so similar. Maybe it could be a long lost brothers reuniting for Christmas or something. I don't know. But yeah, we had Banana Jam is the community manager for content creators at she's Plarium. Plus, obviously, Cruisin, Senda, and MTG Jedi, 3 content creators joining together to review. This has inspired this video as well. So yeah, cool. Shout out to them. I'm going to go through, I've got like quick notes on a lot of the stuff they were talking about. That video came out a few days ago. But yeah, let me give you my thoughts. So overall thoughts, I actually think, and we'll break down the specifics, but I actually think 2025 has been a surprisingly good year for Raid, I would say. I think this has been one of the better years for the game. That's just my vibe, my feeling right now. I mean, like, off the top of my head, in terms of like one of the impressions, so fun peek behind the curtains of 4 years being a YouTuber, I can actually tell you that, in fact, let me show you. I can show you. Fun peek behind the curtain. Here we go. These are actually the lifetime views of my channel, which is interesting. 28 million views lifetime. That's a lot. That's actually a lot. I hadn't realized that, but I started YouTube on this channel on the 8th of December 2021 was the first video. But yeah, you can actually see, funny enough, so what happened during this first year, simple enough, you can see this huge drop off right here. I have Crohn's disease, so I had a massive Crohn's disease flare up around here. I think I lost almost 20 kilos, which is probably close to 40 pounds or something. Like, I was really sick. So yeah, like, it's absolutely horrendous. That took a while to get back under control. So yeah, like, the channel started off really, really well, and I guess then part of it was probably like the stress, the pressure, the intensity of doing that. Probably not that. I mean, it's impossible to know exactly what triggers it, but possibly part of that was a cause of a bit of a relapse there. But yeah, and then went back, and then started picking back up. It's been pretty steady since then. See a lovely gap here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, October 2024. That's when I went to Japan. So we can see it's a scary thing actually about being a YouTuber. I know we're going way off topic here. We're doing this kind of job. It's an amazing job. It's like, I mean, I get to sit at home and talk about video games to a camera, and like, that can be a full-time job. That's weird, right? But like, going to Japan, right? Not only is it cost a few thousand to travel over and be there for a month, but then it also cost a few thousand more on top of that from lost income from not working. It's kind of crazy, right? Because there's no paid time off, right? Self-employed. It's just me on my own. That's it. But yeah, it's been pretty steady, really. But we did have like the biggest spike around the end of November, actually. And then it was doing really well in December. Again, I was away for a couple of days, so it sort of trended back down. I do wonder if I hadn't had. I've been away for like 6 days of December so far, like different work trips. If I hadn't been away, maybe it would have worked out better. But hey, who cares? It's a bit of fun. But yeah, a bit of a peek behind the curtain right there. Why? How did I get onto that? What was I talking about? I don't know. But yeah, no. I guess Raid doing surprisingly well. Like I said, for me on my channel, the most views of all time. I think it was probably around Alien versus Predator, actually. But the most views of all time and the biggest hype has been the last month, which is mad. Yeah, so like the game is, for a game that's this old, and especially in this genre, to be still going so strong, I think is actually pretty darn impressive. Obviously, maybe you don't feel the same way. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But I think the game has genuinely done really well, and I've been pretty impressed with what they've done this year overall. I would say as well, one thing that strikes me, I remember when Eherbad, if you guys remember Eherbad, when he quit the game, he was saying, like, it's not, it feels like the game balance is sort of a bit of a runaway train. Like, it's teetering, it's on the tracks, it's going crazy. It's a bit of a roller coaster. Where's it going to go? And that there isn't power creep in Raid, there's power surge in Raid. And I think that really holds true. But the mad thing about it to me is that it's like, yeah, we're on this crazy runaway train of power creep, just crazy shit happening in the game. We're still somehow going. It's still going, and it's like, hey, we're kind of getting where, I don't know, we're traveling pretty quick. This is kind of interesting, but yeah, I think there's been crazy power creep, particularly this year, but it actually still remains interesting and engaging, which is probably a pretty difficult balancing act. But I mean, like, if I look at, for example, I think Klazak stands out to me as a void, like, we're coming in with a decreased defense, weaken AoE with decreased accuracy, decreased resist as well, while also having a team counterattack and unkillable with Taunt on himself, and then he's counterattacking with a True Fear. All of his stuff is irresistible. He's doing enemy max HP damage with his passive. Like, back in the day, this A2 alone would have made him a Void Legendary. This A3 alone would have made him a Void Legendary. Arguably, the passive alone might have made him a Void Legendary. Maybe it would have to be tuned up a bit to do that, but still, the fact that he's got all of this stuff is bonkers. Like, the guy is crazy, and it's like, or again, I think another example is just very recent. Is this Cecilia? She seems really good. I haven't tested her yet, but the double hit enemy max HP nuke with Perfect Veil on the team, but also increased defense strength and team counterattack on a 3-turn cooldown, and she's healing people. Yeah, it's like, okay, gosh. And they're just a couple of examples. Like, the champs and stuff have been crazy. Xenomorph as the current, free champion, putting out 3 poisons on an A1 if critical. Poisoning on his passive, decreasing enemies' defense by 20%. It's basically a cruelty blessing, 6-star against bosses if he places poison. New infest debuff. It's like, it's been a nutty year in terms of how powerful the champions are getting. And there's certainly been some duds in there as well, but yeah, I don't know. There's a ton of power creep. There's also, I will say, been a ton of content. Like, Grim Forest has been one of the most positively received. It's massive. I'm just about finished now. Probably the video of me finishing Grim Forest will be out at this point. I mean, I think I've got 2 stages and a few random footsteps, but like, I've done all the quests, done everything. It's all donezo. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, one more day. Yeah, a few random footsteps. I don't know if there's much in there, mind you. But yeah, that's been really well received. I feel like Raid is not slowing down at all, right? Like, it was the big meme a couple of years ago of like, games in profit mode, and like, where all the game is dying memes. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. I'm sure it will slowly die, but my gosh, it's going still really strong, which is crazy, actually. I will say as well, one thing, another part of the power creep this year, which is striking, I would say, it's been the promo codes. Promo codes for existing players remain shit. Like, they're so shit. However, the new champion stuff has been pretty insane. Like, we had Hanarak as a promo. I never got this champion myself, actually. She's been a promo code champ for new players. Incredible. Imagine getting her day one. Game changer. I think Tholan has been really, really strong for new players. There was Supreme Galek, and coming in as like a login, like a free champion on a new account with AoE burn. block buffs, decrease speed, and like burn explosion and everything. It's like that's pretty crazy stuff to really help these new accounts. So I think the new account start has also been pretty much turbocharged this year as well. That's something that's experienced a lot of power creep. I'd actually be quite curious if the Hell Hades free to play challenge happens next, like, yeah, I guess in a month or two, right? If that happens, like, it's going to be, I'd expect, so much easier this year, like this upcoming year, than it even was at the start of 2025. And so much easier than it was before then. Like, it's actually nuts. So, with all that going on, talk about the collaborations. Ooh, so we had the Turtles, TMNT. I thought this was pretty good. This was a really fun collab, actually. It was pretty long, I will say. But I think that the champions are pretty great. I certainly think the four turtles are phenomenal. I think the four turtles are pretty much just about perfect, honestly, in my mind, in terms of how they work together. My one issue would be about obtaining them, but I think in terms of like characters that are true to their personalities, have interesting kits, are doing cool stuff, they're pretty bang on. The only slight issue is Raphael's Berserk getting removed by Donatello. That's the only real major issue, but the Turtles feel really good. They are great. Like, really great. I think it's interesting, too. They did fix one of the problems I had initially. So they leaked, obviously. At the start of the Turtles, there was a leak about how you would obtain the Turtles. One problem in that leak, which they fixed, was that they were going to drop a guaranteed event for Raphael and a guaranteed event for Leonardo during a Titan Path for April. The problem with that was if you got the turtles earlier, because they're not just putting them out in guaranteed events, they're also running about 1,000,000 15x events and Prism events, loads of spend your money, get the turtles events, tons of them. So, like, if you spent money and got the turtles early, you might be screwed. You would have been forced into, like, say, well, oh, to do the guaranteed event, the Titan event for April, well, I can't avoid the guaranteed events for other turtles, and what am I going to do with those? They fixed that, but they removed Leonardo from that, which I think was the right call. I think they left the Raphael event as part of the April Titan path, but I think that's actually good. I thought that was fine. Having one of these event champions be part of, the Titan event for another. If you've already got, in this case, if you had Raphael already, you're like, okay, I can skip the Raphael event, which is obviously a very expensive event, and I can do everything else and still get April, and that feels cool. If you didn't have Raphael, you were like, okay, well, I can do the Raphael event, and I can do that on the way to getting April. And yes, it's expensive, but I'm getting both champions along the way. So again, that works pretty well. That felt pretty good, I think. I do think there is that tension, though, for me at least, in terms of the purpose of these collaboration events, where it's been a little bit awkward, I think, where it's like, oh, will there, won't there be these guaranteed events towards the end? And they don't really want to tell us that, explicitly, clearly, guys, there will be a hero's path for Leonardo at the end, right? They don't want to be that specific because they want people to buy shards and try to chase them with shards. I think them announcing that you'll be able to empower these event legendaries with copies of themselves will help that a bit in the future. So if you go, oh, well, I pulled a Leonardo from an event, and then there was a guaranteed event from him later on, getting two Leonardos. I mean, you can run two Leonardos. It's a pretty cool team. But, let's say that they weren't a champion to run two of. You'd be like, oh, well, at least I can +1 him, or I could potentially +2 him in the future. That's not so bad, right? The empowering them is something, at least. Yeah, I think with all these events, there's a bit of that tension. I actually really like, we're going to jump over here a little bit. I really like Alien and Predator. I think Alien is an amazing, Xenomorph is a brilliant, really ridiculously good login champion, as was Michelangelo, actually, as well. They're both fantastic, extremely good. And then I actually quite like that, they had that with Predator. He's Lizards, right, isn't he? Predator as the champion pass champ. I think that they both fit those places very well, and it's sort of straightforward. I enjoy that. I mean, champion pass, perhaps you hate the idea of the champion pass. To me, I don't really mind that conceptually of like, whatever, $40 for a champion pass for a champion. To me, it's okay, but if you hate it, then you would hate that, I suppose. But that's been around for a while. It's not something new to 2025, and I do expect it to continue as well. Yeah, the turtles were great. One other small issue with the turtles was that because of their passive, and particularly Leonardo, it's interesting. So they got the passives where they work together and they're particularly strong. I think what worked really well, and is actually incredibly great design, is that Mikey, the free login champion, he's great on his own. He doesn't need the turtles. It's not bad. He gets his increased attack more often and he does decent damage. So he's nice with the turtles, but it's really not essential. Same thing with Donatello. He was the fusion. If you don't have other turtles, you only have Donatello, he's okay. He's brilliant as a general support. He's really, really good. And yeah, he's nice with the turtles, but it's not essential. Then the two that were more difficult, Raphael from the deck, he was more difficult to get. I feel like he really wants the turtles because his A1 is so strong with the block revive that you really want to bring in the ally attacks to power him up. So I feel like he's a lot better with the turtles and he's not too special on his own. And then Leonardo, of course, the most difficult one to get. But he's the Void Legendary, but he has the whole TMNT Unity passives, which, again, he becomes Giga Charge when the turtles are in there. He goes crazy. So yeah, but he's decent on his own, but he's particularly good as you add more and more turtles to go with him. I think it actually worked out pretty well that, the two most independent turtles were the easiest to get. And like, if you just got Michelangelo, you're not feeling bad, I'd say. You're like, hey, this is a great standalone champion. But I think, if you're a turtle fan, especially for an earlier game player, you really want to get all of them, right? I don't know. Like, I watched the turtles when I was a kid. So, if I joined this game this year and was like, oh, I'd love to get all the turtles, I think it would be a bit of a feels bad moment. So that would be one criticism of that event because of their strong synergy together. Like, I think if I got 3 turtles, I'd be pretty disappointed. Like, Leonardo without the 4th turtle, like, just not as good, right? So I think that would be kind of disappointing. I also think that April is a little bit disappointing for sure. She's not amazing. She's okay where enemies don't have stone skin, I suppose. And Shredder, I think, was a little disappointing as well. In terms of their power, their designs were pretty good. Their powers maybe a little bit low, but not in a way that ruined it, really, or anything like that. I just think they were a small bit underpowered, but I think the 4 turtles were great. And yeah, so I think that was a really cool event, actually, on the whole. The turtles was good. One thing I'd like to see in the future for all of the events would be some gameplay. Like, how cool would it be if there was, like, a mini Grim Forest where you're going through and, like, fighting Shredder in different spots, or like different TMNT villains or stuff like that. Like, for your deck for the event, it would give you, just for this game mode, this special turtle version of Grim Forest, which could be a whole separate mode, yeah? It'd give you the turtles just for free. How cool would that be? Yeah? So you could test them out and try them in this mode. The Turtle Forest fighting against, the Turtle Sewers fighting against Shredder. Stuff like that, I think, could be cool in the future. So some more gameplay. I feel like the events in general in Ray, these big events, they've got super cool champions, generally, very cool. The gameplay is a bit minimal. We've got the event dungeon, yeah, but I think the event dungeon, I mean, to be honest, here's the thing. Like, in Grim Forest, like, like, there's about 1 million event dungeon experiences in Grim Forest, right? Like, each one of these stages is sort of like an event. It's like, oh, what if a champion was a boss, which is sort of the whole idea of the event dungeon. So I feel like the event dungeon has sort of been power crept by Grim Forest in a pretty big way, to be honest. Yeah, so we have that. So Turtles, I thought, was a pretty big success. I think that's one of their better events. Not perfect, but, maybe 8 out of 10 or something like that. I know, yeah, like the Turtles themselves were great. Which is the main thing. I'd say probably 8 out of 10. We had the Alice's Adventure, right? She was a really good login champion, actually. That was the start of the year because that was for the free-to-play challenge. I remember that. That was a great little event. We got some really good champions in there as well. Again, not much gameplay, but really good champs like Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, the Queen of Hearts as well. Great selection of champions. Really cool. That was a pretty good event overall. It was also the first event with the event Relics. We had the Alice's Adventure. No mythical ones in here, which I actually don't mind. I don't feel like you do need all of the, which is what they've done the last couple, is really put in loads of them. A lot of them feel pretty filler, I'll be honest. Like, I don't think you really need them. I mean, the Hatter's Reserve felt pretty filler. I feel like, just a couple of relics would have been maybe enough. Bit weird you couldn't get a dedicated mythical relic, but hey, there you are. And the Cat's Gaze obviously is very limited, and it's like the Cat's Gaze is literally better than Covetous Passion, which is a bit stupid as well, in my opinion. But I do think the limited event relics is fun, so long as they come back in the future, that's important. Giving opportunities to get them in the future. I think that should be very doable, right? There's nothing... Like, if you look, Discovery came with the Turtles. There's nothing, like, TMNT branded in here. It's just vaguely like Stars the Genang is vaguely ninja-ish, right? And this is vaguely ninja-ish, but not in any particular turtle way where there be legal, restrictions to when they can promote it, right? Whereas, they can't. Part of why the turtles are time limited because it's a collaboration with a real IP in the game. Alice's Adventure is like public domain stuff. They can bring this stuff back whenever they want, which would be cool. Or even just have it permanently available. I don't know, in some or regularly available. Like, why not? That'd be one thing to say about that. The time limited nature is interesting, but don't keep it time limited for too long. Would be my thoughts on it. Let people get them. But yeah, Alice's Adventure is pretty good. Good. I don't know, 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 as well. No, 7.5 out of 10. I think the Turtles is overall slightly better, but Alice's Adventure not that far behind. Chaos Awakes. Chaos Awakes is probably the weakest one. It was like just a raid lore, but again, I didn't really feel like in the game unless you stop and like read the champion lore, you're not really getting any of the lore. So it's like a raid lore event, but because again, there's no gameplay, there's no story in game that you're actively engaging with unless you go out and you seek it out, which is quite fun. A lot of the lore in game is actually really fun. So yeah, like Gracchus Turndrake, he's cool. I thought he's good, but not particularly exciting. And we ended up, that was one criticism I had of this year. There was a lot of champions back to back, which were like Spirit Affinity, Decreased Defense, Block Buff champions. Haha. Like there was him, there was Granis, there was another one as well. I think there was a few. Like more, it kind of struck me. Like he was cool, but he doesn't have any fire moves. So he's a little disappointing. Like Balar, obviously, is pretty nice for Chimera, but very, very difficult to make it work. We'll talk about Chimera as well. There was some cool stuff in Chaos Awakes. Obviously, Tholen was a big highlight. But yeah, I thought this was like a raid lore event, right? Like Alice's Adventure was drawing on Alice in Wonderland stuff. Asgard Divide was drawing on Norse mythology. Chaos Awakes was like drawing on nothing. It was like, this is raid telling its own story, but because there's really no storytelling tangibly in game for most people, you don't get any of it. So it was like that to me was a big drawback of it. And it made it much less interesting than the other events where you're like, oh yeah, the turtles. Oh, I know all about the turtles. That's cool. I know the story already. And I can like really enjoy like the trailers, like the Alien versus Predator trailer. Really cool. Is there any Alien versus Predator storytelling in the game? No, there's like nothing. Again, you can stop, you can read their lore. It's pretty cool. But if you don't click that lore button, there's no lore. There's nothing. So yeah, again, something I like to see in the future. Thought that was a drawback from Chaos Awakes. Chaos Awakes had the first mythical drop as part of the event. Again, I thought it wasn't particularly exciting. She's fine, but nothing too special. She was the event dungeon boss. That event dungeon was, I think, infamous for being way too difficult, and it had to be nerfed halfway through. Yeah, I think that makes it fairly weak. There was the Coalition event as well, which was like this big event where there was like missions to complete over the course of like a month and like global people all coming together. I thought it was pretty fun. I think it was received fairly mixed. I think people didn't like it because they couldn't max it out, probably. Like newer players were like, I can't participate in this fully. There's a lot of stuff that's locked to more endgame players. And it was like a lot happening at the same time during the fusion. Personally, I loved it, but I think a lot of other people didn't love it. I would personally like to see it definitely come back in the future, though perhaps that feedback should be taken. In fact, definitely the feedback should be taken from others and possibly make it a bit more accessible and whatnot. But I thought it was a fun little idea for an event. Yeah, just a little bit different, like, a bit more of a social aspect to the event, doing some simple missions, seeing other people do it, getting rewards for each other. They could work stuff in with your clan. They could work some fun stuff in with the coalition type events in the future. I thought they were cool. And yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on the event. So the events this year were decent. I'd like to see more stuff for them in the future. I guess one concern I would have is that, like, especially with Alien versus Predator, that came so hot on the heels of the Turtles. You don't want the game turning into Fortnite. Like you don't want too much of this stuff where if I open up a faction, I'm like, oh, like it's the Teletubbies and there's Barney the dinosaur and whatever and all that stuff. And like, okay, there's a couple of raid champs in there. You don't want it to get to that point. I want it to be mostly raid stuff. The odd collab I think I've enjoyed them all so far. I'm totally cool with all of them. But don't want it to go too far. And that's just a small concern I would have with the Turtles and the Alien versus Predator literally happening back to back. Like that starts to get like a lot, I think. Um, yeah. So there we go. In terms of, yeah, I mentioned a coalition event. That was interesting. So it was mixed reactions. We had the Elhain minigame came back. Initially, I thought it was exactly the same as the previous year. They actually did change it a bit. So there was the Elhain mini Survivor minigame, and that was PC only, which does suck. Doesn't work for mobile players, so that would be something to change in the future. Make it work for mobile. No reason why it shouldn't. It's basically a mobile game, a small one. It was fun though. Again, I'd like to see it. I would have liked to see a little more variety. I think they brought that back for what, Halloween. So that was cool. I enjoyed it. I like to see more stuff in the future. Again, with just a bit more stuff baked in, basically. Like that, but that was pretty fun. What else did we have this year? So we had Faction Wars Hard Mode. Ooh, this is the most controversial thing that happened this year. I think because of the difficulty. It's very difficult. I think this is clearly supposed to be a long-term thing. Like Ogres is by far my worst faction, for example, and it's like it's so difficult. Since Ogre Faction Wars has gone live, by the way, they brought out Kraz, who's very strong for it, but they've buffed Togron, Bellatar, and Diamant, and they've added Klazag. So like they've drastically overhauled the power of the Void Legendaries for this faction to try to boost it up a bit. But it's just it is a very difficult. There's a few very difficult factions. It does feel like Faction Wars hard. So the difficulty feels to me like it's more so aimed at this will be a reasonable challenge like a year or two after its release. It seems to be that long-term content. I think that's made it very, very unpopular, really, because people come in and say, number one, I can't do it, and number two, I can't see a way of really doing it anywhere in the near future. Like, you know, if I imagine myself 5 months from now, will I have got any further? Quite possibly no, not at all. I'd just be hard stuck. This is ridiculous. I think it's okay. I do think like they had the conditions, which is interesting. I think the conditions, I I think they were only all. I think they were all right. I didn't hate them. I hated some of them. Yeah, like a lot of them came down to just swap all my gear. There's another thing. Free gear removal dropped way after Faction Wars came out. So I did most of Faction Wars hard without free gear removal. Like you had the little tokens that and you have like an hour to change your gear, and it was a pain in the ass. I think free gear removal makes this a lot better, but it's a lot of just, okay, I move my stun set over to the next faction, and I run that stage a couple of times with the stun sets until we get lucky, whatever. A lot of the stuff was simply accomplished with gear sets. A lot of it. And then the stuff that wasn't could often be quite frustrating. So yeah, like for ogres, one of the ones I was stuck on for ages, and now Cross will really help. But with ogres was kill enemies with bombs. That's just really tough. Kill 10 enemies with bombs. There's only 15 enemies, right? You have to kill most of them with bombs. If you kill them by accident with a War Master proc or a random hit, you're screwed. So yeah, some of the stages ended up being very frustrating. Some of the factions did not have the tools to complete the stages they were given, I thought. And we've just, I think with the power creep nature of the game as well, Faction Wars hard. Epic's kind of not good enough. There's a couple make it through, but Faction Wars hard is at the point where you're really looking at mythicals and legendaries, like faction unities, and void legendaries especially. It's very difficult, not very accessible. So there are definitely some big downsides there. That being said, I've enjoyed it overall. There's small changes in here, like you can use all of your keys at once. That's great. Just one run and you're done. That's great. Free gear removal has made it a lot better. I think as time goes on, as we get more power creep in the game and it gets more doable, I think that's good as well. I do think it's a little bit too hard still, for sure. Some of the bosses are too easy, frankly, and some of them are too hard. But you know, like the purple boss, I think is really difficult. And then like a yellow boss or something. One of them does nothing. He's really weirdly easy. So it's a bit of a mix. Yeah, I think Polara was also just very disappointing. So yeah, I think there's not too much incentive to finish this. Like for me, for example, on Ogres, I will go back now. I've got Cross, but I can actually farm stage 21 of Ogres, believe it or not, even though I can't get the stars in the other stages. And then you get to a point where you're like, oh, I kind of just want to keep farming stage 21, man. I'm getting like the better glyphs and more relic materials. Going back for these stars, like, is it really? Like, what am I going to do with Polara? She's going to sit in the vault, bro. So, yeah. Faction Wars hard. It was mixed, for sure. I think it's good that it's in the game. I think it will age moderately well. Yeah, I think it was okay, but a little too difficult, frankly. I think that held it back a bit. Now, free gear removal, amazing. Oh my god, one of the best changes. It's been so good. I think it would be the sort of thing that if they imagine they removed it, obviously they wouldn't, but imagine they removed it, going back to not having free gear removal. How shit would that be? Like, unbelievable. You get used to it because it feels the right way to play. Absolutely love it. One of the best changes. Brilliant, fantastic. I think we should also have free relic swapping. Probably change blessings for free as well. Screw it, let's change masteries for free too. For me, those are all positive things. Just be able to flip stuff around. I guess the downside of being able to change everything for free is that you'd be flipping like your relics and your gear between like every faction war run. You'd be swapping all your gear over every single time. That's certainly a downside, but I think that downside outweighs the benefits outweigh it. I would love to see definitely free relic swapping at the very least. Like, let me just change my gems and change my relics around and test stuff out and try different characters. That's what's fun. Not fun waiting for Starstone. Like, that just sucks, right? But yeah, I think we had Minotaur super raids as well as this year, which again feels like something that should have been here years ago, but it's here now at least. That's cool. Saves a bit of time. I think that's been very positively received as well. Uh, background, I guess I was going to say I don't notice it too much because now we've got background multi battles as well. They're pretty underwhelming, to be honest. Background multi battles, they're okay. It's definitely better than not being there. I do use them a good bit, but they're not too amazing. But you know, it's somewhat useful. You can set the background multi battle, mess around with gear and champion builds and stuff. It's decent, but obviously it's, you know, a very underbaked feature. It needs way more happening. Like, I should be able to send the background battles. They've said that arena is coming soon. I think just live arena is coming soon, but I should be able to do any arena while that's going. In fact, I really think you should be able to do anything. Even turn off the game would be my preference. I know they're kind of against it, but like, you know, I think I should be able to just say, go do my background battles, turn off the game, come back later, my Minotaur runs are done. Like, I don't see what the particular benefit is of sending off my Minotaur battles and sitting here looking at the Bastion and being like, yeah, I don't know, is that gameplay? Maybe for someone. But yeah, like, I'm just leaving the game running in the background on the PC. I mean, it gets them good, probably good engagement analytics and stuff, but I don't think it really means anything personally. So yeah, the background multi-battles, I suppose it's better than not having them. Probably a bunch of people would disagree though. Probably people would be like, I don't want the background multi-battles unless they're like properly background and flexible and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they improve it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully. They've said Live Arena is coming, so we'll see. That would be nice. And they've said that Live Arena will also be open 24/7. That would also be great as well. Like, for example, I normally do my CVC stream. It's like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Right, for a couple of hours until about 12 a.m. Guess what? Live Arena closes from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. here. So there's no way, even if I streamed a couple of hours earlier or later, I'd have to go 2 hours earlier or later to catch even an hour of Live Arena on either side of it. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, it'll be nice and that's open the whole time, and if we can run background battles at the same time, that would be great. That could end up saving some time, which would be good. Roof, I think in the tavern, they upgraded. I don't remember all the tavern upgrades, to be honest. They've done a lot of small little things. This brew upgrade thing's pretty cool. I have used this a decent bit, and it's quite useful. So I could like just come in and be like, yo, max these guys out. Let's go. Woo, max them out. And like, that will re-speed stuff up. That's pretty cool. I've used that a bit. I don't think I've used the instant. I don't even know what this button does. I haven't used that one. I don't know. Like, I used the instant rank up. I think that was there before. Like, that's a handy one. Bam, just job done. That's great. Yeah, the tavern is still a bit clunky, but they have improved it. I do find the brew feeder pretty good, and I don't remember all the other changes, but there have been things. One thing that's been great, they changed it in here. Now, one issue is that it's not everywhere. Like, this is great that now, at least on PC, I've got these, and like my filters here. This has been good. I think there's definitely other, I think in Live Arena, they've now put in the better filters in Live Arena for searching for champions. But then, like, there's some places where it's missing. So I think on Arena Defense, one-man Predator, oh, he's doing all right there. Not too bad, one-man Predator. But, like, coming in here, At least it's a 3-layer thing, but there's no filters. But I think it's in like Siege or something. I know there's definitely somewhere. I think it might be Siege where you're going in and like I'm trying to pick champions to attack, and it's like the 2-layer search, and there's like the filters really awkward and stuff like that. And you know, like in live arena, I can have my arena tag champions. Like I can come in and I can filter easily and quickly or automatically even by my arena builds, and like that's great and stuff. So yeah, the search filters are good. They've improved them a bit. Yeah, they improved them somewhere just in the last patch, and I don't remember where. But they did make them better. Was it over here? No, there was definitely somewhere they added them in where they definitely improved the filters a bit, and that's great. But yeah, more filters, more improvements would be good. Relics, big one. Big one. Relics. They've added a lot of relics this year. Basically all of them this year. We had these two like at the end of last year. And then basically all of these tabs have come this year. I think relics have been pretty fun. I don't think it's perfect, but like they're pretty great actually on the whole. I think they're good overall. Um, I think as we're getting more relic sources as well, it feels better. And they've improved the basalts and stuff like that, and that's good as well. So you're getting more relics, which you can then level them up more. You're not as tied in. Like I think the Chimera ones are incredibly difficult to get, but then it seems like the Grim Forest ones are pretty easy and like way easier in comparison. But yeah, you do have like these multiple sources. I think the more sources of relics, like sort of the better it's working. That yeah, you will eventually get some, and you will eventually level them up, and you'll eventually get some good ones. That's kind of cool. I would like to see a mercy system in here. I've been lucky, but a lot of people haven't been lucky. I think like especially with the mythical crafts. Let's say you've got with the mythical craft. Hang on, it's pretty fast for just X off. With the mythical crafts, you've got a 20% chance for mythical. Like after 10 mythical crafts with nothing, like just guarantee a mythical or something. You could limit it to just the clan. Like after 10 crafts of the clan relic, if you didn't get a mythical, your 10th one is guaranteed to be a mythical. Like screw it. Like who cares, man? It takes absolutely ages to get these. Why not? That's me being kind of just not that generous either. Like 1 in 10 is a good bit below, but you know, put in, I feel like they could really do it some sort of mercy system. I've heard people being like, nope, I've crafted 30 mythical relics attempts and gotten none. I was like, that's just shit, bro. Like, doesn't need to be in the game, man. Like, that's fucking months of saving, man. Honest players get nothing. It's like, why? There's no need for it, right? Just yeah, I think a mercy system would be really nice. Like I've been fine. I've had really good relic luck overall. But yeah, sucks for a lot of people. Hey, it's an epic. Woo. Um yeah, I think there's also plenty of relics that could do with a buff for sure. That I think they said they will buff some. There's some that could potentially be nerfed as well, but I think that might be unpopular for sure. So I think at the very least buffing some of the underperforming ones like Murder Fang's pretty bad. What's a classic one? Oh, from Live Arena. You do all your Live Arena. Do grinding Live Arena, it feels like for hours in the month to finally get your mythical relic craft. And you get an Axe Serpentis. You're like, that's absolutely shit. There's a few relics that could do with some massive buffs. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I already mentioned bring back the limited edition relics somewhat regularly would be great. And yeah, I personally for me, a bigger thing I would like to see change, which is probably not going to happen. I think Starstone is just I'm sick Starstone right now. I think Starstone is a shit resource. Like I'm sitting here, I've got this hallowed hilts. I can't even upgrade this one. I can't take gems out of this one to put into this one. I can't put this on anyone because I don't have any star. It's just shit, bro. So it's like, just a fucking wait for Chimera. All right, cool. I think Starstone is a shit resource. I think it doesn't need to be like over here. You know, like I should just whatever collect the basalts. I've got another mythical relic can't even use, right? Collect the basalts. I upgrade it. We don't need this plus whatever, right? Just it goes from 4-star to 5-star. Job done. We don't need these levels. Just do the stars. Have it just be basalt. Remove Starstone as a thing. Make relic swapping and gem swapping free. Repurpose Starstone. Put in like a shop on where are the shops these days? In the market. Put in a shop over here, the relic shop. Save up Starstone, buy a relic of your choice, and they could rotate them around. That could be a nice way to bring back event relics as well. Like, ooh, the Cat's Gaze is up this month. Great, I'll save up for a Cat's Gaze with my Starstone. Maybe target gems as well. That could be fun. Remove some of the randomness. Again, you wouldn't expect to get a lot of them from it, but like, hey, if I save up Starstone over a few months, I can buy myself a particular mythical relic. Like, I don't know. I really want. What would you really want? I really want a Death Dealer for Rotus. That's cool. Can't weak hit anymore, and he just one shots everything. Great. I'd love that. Might never ever get one in years of playing, so that could be nice. That's just an idea. Throw it out there, because I think me and my 6 Starstone don't like Starstone, huh? I think another broad. I think this kind of. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I feel like Xenomorph's probably the best example of this. But they're like a lot of new buffs and debuffs. They've added a lot this year. Immutable, Nullify, Entangle, Siphon, Gold-Plated, Infest, Total Guard. That's new. I haven't done a video on that yet. But they've been adding like a lot of buffs and debuffs this year. Like a lot. What else was new? I think there's even more than that new this year as well. I guess they've been around for a while, those ones. Yeah, there might be some other new stuff. Hunter's Gaze came with Chimera, to be fair, and so did Necrosis. Deathbrand, I think, was new. Ensnare is new. Fatigue is new. Fervor, Magma Shield, Stormcall, they're all pretty new. Fortify and Shatter came this year as well. Intercept might have come this year. I don't know, but like there's so many buffs and debuffs added recently. It sort of feels like there aren't enough champions to support it. It feels like they're adding champions buffs faster than they're adding champions. Like I think one thing that's kind of funny is that Master Seal has been in the game for a couple of years, not existed. The first actual source of Master Seal. I think there's a big poison sensitivity that's been in the game for like 6 years, never been used. Where's the freaking vampire chick? She's the first time that Master Seal has actually shown up years later. Kind of like weird, right? But she places Master Seal. It's the first way to get Master Seal in the game is this boss. And it sort of feels that way with a bunch of these. Like, there's a lot of buffs and debuffs that like one champion has or something like that. I'm sure they're planning for it in the future, but I just feel like at the moment, I'm like, gosh, you are adding so much stuff. So much stuff. Yeah, like it feels like it's a lot right now. Maybe a little too much, to be honest. And I'd like more champions to cover this stuff than being like, another new buff that one champion has, another new debuff that one champion has, and only one champion will have it for months and months. Perhaps the new faction is going to see a lot of the champions with these new buffs and debuffs in it. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, that's been a thing. That's been a thing. Couple of things they've done well too. Fusions and champion buffs, I think, have actually been generally really good. It's been a very good year for fusions. The fusions have been very, very, very strong, which is just another example of power creep in the game. But yeah, the quality of the fusions has been fairly consistently high, to be honest. Some of them are more targeted at new players. Like I think Granis was probably one of the more poorly received ones, but I think he's really strong. But he's just not really an end game fusion. But like, my goodness, he's a great fusion for a newer to even late game player. He's a phenomenal champion. He's just not top tier for end game or anything. But on the whole, the fusions have been excellent. I will say I do not like Titus. Sorry, it's nice to manual. Sorry, not nice to manual. The opposite. It's nice to auto Chimera and just have it done and not have to do it. That's nice. He lets me avoid the game. That's good. But other than that, not a fan of Titus or what he's done. I kind of feel like it's interesting. Again, like, you know, Grim Forest has been really fun. Siege has been improved. I'm enjoying Live Arena and stuff like that. I feel like, you know, Hydra Clash and Chimera Clash are kind of a joke. Personally, that's my feelings on it. I feel like for PvE content, I feel like the CVC clashes are in a really, really, really bad place right now. Yeah, I think they're in a terrible place. Whereas I think the other content in the game is done better. The clashes have been generally left behind. But yeah, where was it? That was a tangent from fusions. I think the fusions though have been extremely good. Apart from, I did not like what Titus did for the clash modes. Really, Live Arena has been improved. They improved the rewards a good bit. The seasonal rewards. Oh, I can't see them. I can see them. They've improved these a decent amount. Like there's 4-star Basalt in there. That's been improved a decent bit. They improved the seasons a bit as well. I think that's been kind of mixed. I think Live Arena generally is kind of mixed. I think it's quite good. You have to go into it, though, expecting to lose a lot. and that the matchmaking won't always be perfect. I don't know. I feel like people go in, walk away with the 50% win rate, which is expected, really, if matchmaking is good, by the way. And then they go, "This is the most unfair shit ever." And it's like, well, is it? I don't know. If you have a fair fight, is that But there's plenty of examples of unfair fights as well, of course. But generally speaking, live arena, I will say that I think getting rid of the opening hours and having it always open will be a huge improvement, so that when it suits you to play live arena, you can do it. I would also say generally, I think the requirements, the amount of points needed for maxing out the season are extremely high, too high. I think the amount of wins for this chest, I think also the amount of gear that you're getting is too low. Yeah, I basically think it's sort of balanced around people spending multiple hours in here every single day, and that's not great. Like that's my vibe. I think they could cut down the time requirements in here, and that wouldn't be bad, to be honest. And obviously, it's PvP in a pay to win game, so it will never be the best, like absolutely insane. But I think that generally it is very, very fun on the whole, is my opinion, which is unpopular, but there you go. I do think that Raid actually has a pretty good PvP scene. It's certainly better than it used to be. There was a couple of years where it was Taras, Marishka, and nothing else. There's a decent amount of variety now. It feels like there's a lot of crazy overpowered stuff. And yeah, I think part of it as well is like the whole primals, mythicals thing. Like, you have players that are going, I've got none, maybe one or two mythicals after saving like crazy for years, getting all of the free resources. That's all I've got. And then you walk in and you fight some dude who's got like, he just picks 5+4 6-star mythicals, and you're like, well, fuck me. Like the pay to win, the pay to win in this game is absolutely absurd. The difference between, I'm like, you have to pay millions. Like some people have spent millions to be these Giga Krakens, right? Like you could easily drop 10 grand on the game and it will have an impact, but not that big of an impact. Like you need to be dropping thousands every month, sort of thing, to have a really, really big impact here. It's ridiculous, but yeah, you can spend a ton of money and have a huge impact, which is obviously a big drawback for PvP, but it still remains fun despite that, to be honest, I think. Siege, likewise, they've improved Siege, kind of. I think the traps are shit. They've added in traps, but they kind of suck, and they're too expensive still. But yeah, the traps seem like they've been a bit of a flop. They definitely need to be improved. No one's really using traps from what I've seen trap. I have to be no. I'll tell you, I have seen people using traps, so they don't achieve anything. It's like you just wasted your resources for nothing for the most part. It's pretty awkward. I really enjoyed. We fought one siege where the enemy had like a level 6 stronghold, and I had like 4 attacks, and I freaking loved it. Oh my god. I think where siege for me personally is interesting, where I think it's end game interesting, is where people are putting up loads of defenses and you've got loads of attacks. So it's like, I need to do PvP, but I can, cater my attack towards their defense, and I can use all these different champions I wouldn't otherwise use. Like in live arena, you only have so much gear on champions at a time. Realistically, I'm using most of the time, the same 10 champions every fight, maybe 20 champions in general. You're not using that many. I think in Siege, you've got the potential to use far more champions for PvP. So I like that a lot. But I think many people don't see the potential because, number one, they're at lower level strongholds. So they're not upgrading. They don't need to do many fights and whatnot. Or the fights are very mismatched and balanced, so there's nothing to do. Yeah, or any sort of stuff like that, or like it's just there's poor tools in game for really it needs a lot of organization, right? This is a game mode that is really fun if you're in a clan like my clan that are like really into Siege and people are putting the time and effort in. They're communicating on Discord, like insane amounts of effort from the leadership. Like, oh my god, the work the leadership are putting in to coordinate everyone, get everyone on board, make sure everyone knows what they're doing, coordinating the strategies. It's an amazing game mode for people who get into it, but I think it's very difficult to get into it. And more end game leaning. What's a new player going to do? They'd be like, yo, I've got like 3 champions. What the fuck, bro? So yeah. I will say tier 8 has been massive as well. Are we in tier? Yeah, tier 8 has been brilliant. Tier 7 and tier 8, for me, that's really improved the experience. We're getting much fairer fights, whereas when I was in my old clan before and there's only tier 6, like we'd be matched against clans that never stood a chance, and it was really stupid. In tier 8, we're fighting much. You've seen, like, I've started doing siege videos. I just had to stop, right? I was doing the tier 6 videos, and I was like, there's just no point anymore. The fights are too lopsided, and people are just getting upset, right? Now that we're in, tier 8 has really improved that, where, there's genuine, interesting fights happening for me regularly. I don't know what the situation is in the lower tiers, though. I've only really seen tier 8 stuff. But yeah, for me, I love Siege. Siege is actually a highlight for me when you get a good fight and when there's lots of fights to be had. But, like, we had a fight a few weeks ago where our clan was just a good bit stronger than the enemy, and they hadn't upgraded their stronghold much at all. So I had like 2 attacks, and that was sort of it. I did 2 attacks and was like, okay, I kind of stopped now, kind of ground to a halt. Or, like, I really enjoy doing the Mana Shrine rebattles. They're really fun. But there's not really much rewards. There's not much incentive aside from fun, which is not the worst thing in the world, but I enjoy those. They're fun. Anyway, Siege, they've improved Siege a bit. I hope they improve it more. I think this mode has so much potential. I really do. I thoroughly enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know. That's my quick thoughts on that. Got Hydra quick battles. Brilliant. For me, Hydra is basically a dead game mode. Like, Hydra's been out for years. I mean, well, people are low scoring here, right? But I typically, I think on auto, we'll just do it on auto, right? Like, why not? I don't know. I just got a 6-star soul for Packmaster. This might make it better, might make it worse. Do I have gear on these champions? I don't know. Let's find out. But, like, this is great. Just get it done with, and pretty much instantly. It's great. But, like Hydra, I think it's 36.6 million for the top chest of Hydra on Nightmare. I'm gonna do 900 million, a billion. Oh, really bad score. Oh, Ninja probably doesn't have gear. You only have 51 million. Okay. With a 5-person team, I did 700 million. Yeah. Whereas it's top chest is 36.6. I did 700 with 5 champions. It's like, it's dead content. So that's great. Just get it out of the way quickly. It's crazy to think back in the day having to sit through a whole Hydra battle every single week. Having to sit through your entire Demon Lord battle every day is ludicrous. Can't wait for Chimera things. Like, I'm kind of sick of Chimera stuff. Chimera, they made the trials easier and they upped the rewards. I think they need to go further. I think Chimera is still too difficult. I think the effort required and the frustration and the randomness of trying to do those trials is too much. And I think that for a lot of the trials as well, it's like you kind of need extremely specific champions to do lots of them. Like, you can do any specific trial, that's fine, but to get lots of the mythical crafting materials, it's really something for the Krakens, right? Like, I consider myself certainly a whale, like, especially considering, like, we get free resources and stuff every week for being content creators and whatnot, right? But like, that certainly, no doubt, whale territory. But, like, I can't really do I've never had a week where I can get all 25 of the mythical things. I just don't have the right champions. It's very limited, very limited. And even if you do have the right champions, you might have to run it a few times to get the right layout of RNG. Like, what? Like, gosh, if you're trying to do the ram form, block his stuns, if you're the wrong affinity and he weak hits you, like, good luck. Run it again, buddy. Oh, back you go. You're like, man, what am I supposed to do? He just didn't hit me with the stuns, for fuck's sake. So, yeah. I think Chimera could do with another nerf, quite frankly. I think area bonuses would also help a lot. Area bonuses for Chimera would be massive. Making the trials more accessible, potentially as well. You just put in, I think there's no reason not to put in area bonuses for Chimera, to be honest. See where the balance lies then, because it will make everything a lot easier. And then see, but I think the trials probably need to be toned down a bit as well in general. And yeah, finally, we've got Grim Forest. News content, really good. I think very good. Probably too easy. Got great potential for the future, though. The exploration is fun. I will say, I do think that it's going to be too samey between rotations. That's my big concern, is that I've cleared it once. I'm just going to pick the same. I'll improve my deck a little bit, but I'm pretty much just picking the same stuff. The cards I'm getting, I'm pretty much going to be picking the same cards. I'm probably going to be picking pretty much the same curios, fighting the same stuff. It's pretty much going to be pretty samey, actually, I think, pretty quickly. I think adding stronger power-ups, more unique stuff, like, go crazy. They could go crazy. Like, roguelike modes. Like, if I think about Hades, right? running Hades, like a run in Hades too, like one run can be totally different from another. So I think that's what can make it entertaining. So I think that it's a game mode I would love. It's been so positively received. I think that this is a game mode that they could come back to, iterate on, add a bunch of new stuff to it, and massively improve it. I think this is great right now. I think people will be bored of it in 6 months, if even. But I think if they come in 6 months and drop a huge update, they could really make this very fresh. I think they've got a fantastic groundwork laid here. I think they could really build on this and future content in the game as well. I think it's been brilliant. So yeah, that's been a big success. It's basically, like if Doom Tower was the first iteration, Curse City was the second. I think Doom Tower is better than Curse City. Curse City kind of sucks. Grim Forest is like what Curse City should have been. It's like way better than Curse City. It's like Curse City but good, basically. So, and they could improve it even more. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. And yes, finally, I say, do I have a wish list? What sort of things would I like to see in 2026? Ooh, well, we know we've got a new faction coming. Excited for that. Yeah, I say, well, for quality of life, the biggest thing I would like to see would be an improvement to the accessory system. So I think particularly we have just so many of the sets these days are the strongest sets, pretty much exclusively, are variable sets. It's just back in the day, you were building champs with a 4-piece set and maybe a 2-piece set. Now you're building champs with maybe a 4-piece set and a 4-piece set. Maybe you're building them with, let me see, who's a good example? No, sorry, he's still that. You're building them with, who's? No, not him. Maybe you're building them with a full 9-piece set. Maybe you're doing a 6-piece set. I think that the gearing is much more complicated, but I think it's much more interesting. I think they're great on the whole. There's a big issue though, which is it's quite a bit of work managing your gear for these variable sets, but it's a nightmare for Relics. It's a nightmare because now I've got to manage these variable sets across every single faction, and there's no easy way to do it either. So like it's not too bad. Like I've no problem managing like my pinpoint or my feral in my gear. That's fine. I can keep track and be like, oh, I want a certain number of speed boots and a certain number of this and a certain number of that, and it's fine. It's a nightmare with accessories are so bad. Like you can see, I've got 1,500 gear pieces. That's managed. It's totally chill. We're fine. They've just increased it. I now have 1,900, and it's a fucking nightmare. I don't want to deal with it. It's a disaster. If I don't want to deal with it, who does want to deal with it? It's just, how do you sort through this stuff? Wait, gonna need these merciless pieces for this faction, this for like, oh my god. And yeah, they just increased the storage, which pushed the problem for me back like a month. I got like a month off of having to be overflowing in storage, and then it's gonna be full again, and again my inbox gonna be filling off. I think they really need to take a pretty deep look at how accessory management works. I think minimum, unfortunately, I think you need to delete the factions. At minimum, make it alliance-based. That makes it a good bit easier. Potentially just delete the faction limitations on accessories entirely. I don't know. Or make the accessories sell for loads of silver so there's a really good incentive to be gear clearing or whatever. That would be okay as well, but it's such a mess. I think at the bare minimum, I would really want to see them switch to alliance only. That would at least, now I've got 4 chunks of accessories to manage. It's still 4 times more to manage my feral accessories than trying to manage my feral gear. But yeah, that would be a pretty massive improvement, to be honest. Yeah, I think they need to really do something with accessories because it's miserable. Yeah, and I think the ability to move relics around would be a pretty big quality of life thing as well for me. I definitely enjoy that. Like there's been several videos I wanted to make and being like, can't give them a relic. I can't do it. I can do it on the test server, but I can't do it on the real server. Like if I want to test someone in live arena, like that happened with Predator. I was like, I want to test out Predator, and I had to like delay it or I had to redo something because like, yeah, I think I had to just take a wand of submission off somebody and give it to him. I was like, well, now the wand of submission is gone from. Doesn't matter. You get the gist. Apart from that, I'd like to see new creative stuff. Like mythicals have been around for ages. They started adding a bunch new ones as well, and they're cool. Totally happy with new mythicals coming in. That's great. They've increased the amount of mythicals people are getting with Grim Forest. That's great. I'd like to see that increased even more primal shards. Let people get mythicals. Mythicals are super fun. We've obviously hit the end of faction unity. So I'd like to see maybe something new and creative, right? Mythicals, faction unity. They've been around for a good while now. I'd like to see some creative new type of champion. Could be cool. That'd be fun. Not essential, but it'd be fun. But yeah, I'd say accessory improvements really need to happen. I'd say a new type of champ, not essential, but it'd be pretty awesome. And yeah, I'd like to see. Yeah, I don't really feel like we need new game modes to be at the moment, to be honest. But I'd like to see. I'd like to see probably like Chimera improved. More stuff for Siege would be good. More stuff for Grim Forest. Potentially rework Curse City in a Grim Forest type way. I don't know, or just they could potentially do something to make Curse City better because it kind of sucks. Yeah, whatever. More improvements for Live Arena as the year goes on, that sort of thing. Broadly speaking, that's where we are. Let me know. What do you think, though, of, let's see, where we've been going an hour here. Sorry, I talked for far too long. Not like me at all. Oh, God. But yeah, let's see what do people think of. In terms of how people, we've got 700 votes while I was being recording. How'd you rate 2025 for Raid Shadow Legends? 65, the overwhelming majority. I think it's been an A-tier year. A pretty good year. For me, I'd probably be leaning towards S tier, so I'm in a minority there at 15%. But yeah, so there you go. Most people feel like it's A tier, and a few leaning towards it being actually phenomenally good. A few leaning towards it being, it's okay, decent, but not too special. And then 5%, a small number, think it was a pretty bad year, which is interesting. I feel like, again, I never did a poll like this for previous years, but I feel like this would be one of the better ones, to be honest. I feel like this is one of the better years. I do think a funny thing that happened this year as well, in previous years, around October, was when Raid is Dying. You basically schedule up your Raid is Dying videos for October every single time, baby. Every single time. Didn't happen this year. This year was all about, when is Leonardo? Where's Leonardo? I wonder if they did it on purpose. They're like, let's just tease them at Leo to distract them from the Raid is Dying stuff. Or I don't know. Is it just sort of coincidence? And you tell me. You tell me in the comments. You tell me, guys. But yeah, I think that was funny. Very few Raid is Dying videos this year. Far fewer than usual. But yeah, there we are. Thanks for watching. It's been a long one. Lots of thoughts. Have a great Christmas, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.